Now let's move to another variable, and that is the opponent throws a jab, he blocks with the rear hand, and he crosses center line. What I want to bring up, Kurt, Brooke, come on in here. First of all, is I want you to start seeing the common thread. We have an energy drill tape, which is working the who but. We're needing to find the time here to find all the Dumog positions out of that. So we have the Dumog tape, which we're working the Dumog out of the energy drills. Then we back off into this, and he jabs, and we're doing the same thing off of that. So what you're starting to notice is a common thread. Now the energy that Kurt gave me was this. I came to here, and he held center line. When he holds center line right here, all I did was pull off of this arm, and that was into my headbutt. This time what Kurt's going to do is he's going to cross center line. I'm going to come off this angle, and boom, that's going to be the headbutt. Okay, once you go ahead and put on the gear. And once Kurt is boxing, he throws a jab, he comes in with a cross. I would have to time that. I would have to time getting into trapping range. If that particular sequence is there, I would go for it. So you might go 2 years and never be in that position. And then one day you happen to be there and that technique comes out. And you'll just say to yourself, geez, I remember that from 3 years ago. That's sort of how this art is. Remember, all we're doing is we're giving each other different reference points. And from these reference points, we're applying the appropriate techniques. Headbutts are pretty appropriate. Okay, come on in, Kurt. Just cross center line on that. So we're going right to here, boom, and that's our headbutt. So again, slowly, here was our first one, which held center line, and I pulled to here. The second one, I feel the energy to here crossing center line, and I come to that. One more time, jab, boom, boom, boom. So that's all we're doing. I'm feeling the energy and doing it. If I couldn't feel the energy, I didn't have energy drills to work, I'd be stuck in there. So I use a little Wing Chun to go around it. Then I throw Wing Chun out and I kick in the headbutt using the appropriate art, JKD. Now in this next segment, what I'm going to do is I'm going to isolate our elbows. Brad's going to come in and kickbox, and I'm going to use the elbows as tools to destroy whatever weapons come in. Remember, as a collie man, we don't see a punch or a kick coming in as a weapon that's going to hurt us. We see it as a target that we want to hit. And using our elbows is a good way to destroy the target. When that fist comes in, if you can time that elbow hitting that fist, you're going to completely blow that thing away. Not many people are going to come back and hit you with this hand. Same thing with a foot. So we're going to use our elbows, anything we see, and blow it away. Once I do that, I'm going to go to Wing Chun. I'm going to use my blast to get the pressure going, and then I'm just going to continue the elbows on the face. But unlike Thai boxing, we're not going to start out in long range and come flying in to use an elbow on the head, because the problem with that is if you get a Leonard, he's going to hit you with that jab between here and there. But in regular boxing, they don't have the elbows that the Thais have. So here's Bruce saying, we'll take the Thai boxing elbow, but we'll take the timing of, let's say, a Sugar Ray Leonard and the economy of motion of Wing Chun and the rhythm of Kali, and we're going to put it all together. So we're going to see everything as a target with the elbows and just progress our way in. All the way from the limbs, working in the blast, to the face. Okay, Brad. So we're just poking around here. Brad's throwing the punches. I'm just blowing away anything I see. Now what we're going to do is sort of put it all together. I'm going to put the headbutts and the knees and the elbows in. There's not going to be a set rule of what we're doing, a set way. I'm going to come in with a few punches. I'm going to get an obstruction. As soon as I get an obstruction, I may come in with a knee. I may come in with a headbutt. You're going to see what I'm doing. I'm blending the Dumog with the Wing Chun, with the headbutts, knees, and the elbows. Okay, Kurt, come on in. Once again, this is representing the part of the fight in which we've already been from long range and entered. For whatever reason, we've entered to this position, boom, and that's our first shot. If I'm here, bang, I'm here. If I get to boom, boom, that would be there. If, let's say, I go for the headbutt, and Kurt, you kind of back off a little bit there, boom, that's the knee. If I go for the knee, you sort of get out of the way with the knee, boom, that's into the headbutt. So whatever I'm doing, I'm always feeling the energy to get in with my next shot. If I go with an elbow on a horizontal, boom, this is a vertical upper, boom, that's just back to the headbutt. Come back to here, boom, I'm down to the foot sweep. So whatever I'm trying to do, everything's flowing, sort of like water fitting in the cracks. And once you do this over and over and over again, who do you think's going to win when you get in trapping range? Since I'm a little bit short on volunteers, what I'd like to do is demonstrate exactly what a headbutt's going to do on, let's say, a melon. Now, in conclusion, I'd like to reiterate exactly why the headbutts, the knees, and the elbows are being used. First of all, these are tools that take people out of commission. When you headbutt somebody, they don't survive that. You can punch somebody in the face, that's going to piss them off. You headbutt somebody, they're going down. You take your elbow and you rake it across somebody's face 5 or 6 different times, their natural reaction is to do this. It's going to open up the face right away. The blood's going to go into the eyes. They can't see the stinging effect, the whole thing. There's no more vicious tool than an elbow. When you drive your knee into someone's groin or into the thigh, it completely buckles them from here. And when you use these tools in combination with each other, well, that's what we're looking for. And the thing about an elbow or a headbutt is you can do it until you're 80 years old. When you're 30, you're going to headbutt that fast. When you're 50, it's going to be that fast. Or how long do you have to train a headbutt? You're going to headbutt the bag 2 hours a day to get better at it? So these are tools that we can use whether we're sick, tired, hungover, I don't care. You get into a fight, you're in slippery ground, you just grab a hold, boom, and it's always there. It's applicable to any person, any fighting range. As soon as we get into trapping range, we're going to beat somebody. So in conclusion, I'd like to say, keep it up, work the headbutts, work the knees, try to go through the whole tape very slowly, work everything slowly, and the key word is progression. Happy headbutting.